It's Goji time once again, folks. Burning Goji time, man. Back at you with another one, and this one's a special one, man. Oh my God. I've been wanting this for a while. Shout out to my boy Rich for picking this up for me. Watched a ton of reviews on this guy. This is the SH Monsterarts Godzilla 1995 70th Anniversary Special Edition from Godzilla vs. Destroyer right there. And what a beautiful box. It's following the trend of the boxes with the tears in them and whatnot. With a beautiful picture of the figure on the front. And of course, you know, the reds, the orange, the blacks to signify Burning Godzilla. You got the 70th anniversary logo, Godzilla 1995 Special Anniversary Edition. You're going to have on this side, there's a window into the Goji, Godzilla 1995. You're going to have a nice picture of the figure right here. Of course, on the top, there's another window in with the tears. On the bottom, we're getting another beautiful picture of the figure right there. That looks awesome. And then on the back, we're going to have a beautiful back of the box here with several pictures of the figure. That's very, very nice. It's going to come with this beautiful 70th anniversary stand here, a red and black one. Here you see other pictures of the figure. And this is going to show you all the accessories with the stand. And then you're going to get a beautiful atomic breath piece and a stand for that. Very, very nice. I think you get an extra set of hands. Of course, down here, the master, Yuji Sakai, who sculpted this. Excellent, man. I can't wait to get this guy out of the box and really, really get into it. I only have one other 1995 Godzilla, and that's a Playmates. So to get an articulated 95 Burning Godzilla is very, very nice for me. I'm happy to add it finally to my collection, and I'm happy that it's this one, the 70th anniversary one. I reviewed the 70th anniversary 1954, so please go check that out when you have a chance. And so, you know, it's nice to have both of the 70th anniversary special editions from SH Monsterarts. But anyway, let's crack this box open and get them out of there. Okay, so it's a really nice packaging, just to show you the full thing. You got the clamshell with the Goji and the 70th anniversary stand here. And then you get this other little piece with the extra set of hands, the beautiful atomic breath piece with the stand for the atomic breath piece. So that's the full packaging. Very, very nice. Okay, so we got the stand out. It's got a beautiful new figure smell to it. I love the smell. We're going to see if we can get a little crinkle here of the plastic like we always like to do. Yes. There we go. Just going to pull that off. Okay. So there we go, straight out of the box. Okay, so we're going to take a look at everything that it comes with here. Very, very nice. Beautiful 70th anniversary stand for the figure, which is awesome. You're going to get two extra hands here. They're just a little bit more open hands, open claws, which is kind of nice. We'll put those on later. And then you're going to get a wonderful atomic breath piece with a beautiful stand for it and a very nice bottom of the stand piece here. So that's really excellent. And straight away, out of the box, this figure is very, very impressive as far as the paint job is concerned. It just jumps out at you. It's a well done paint job. Absolutely well done paint job. It just conveys Burning Godzilla so beautifully. And you're going to have these just fantastic orange and yellows and different tones, different shades of orange and yellow all over them that look very, very nice. Yeah, the first impression is very, very nice as far as the paintwork goes. You're going to get some beautiful dorsal plates here. Translucent dorsal plates that just look very nice. Beautiful translucent orange with the nice charcoal center there for Godzilla's body. You're going to get very, very well painted fingernails and toenails here as well on the separate hands as well. Yeah, the paint job on the fingernails and toenails here is stellar. You're going to get very well done eyes, believe it or not. So I saw a lot of these videos where people made it seem like the eyes were goofy. They are not, at least not on mine. They look very nice. They make Godzilla look very menacing. Excellent, man. So this is the full package of what you're getting here. My very first articulated Burning Godzilla, and I'm so happy that it's this one by SH Monsterarts, the 70th anniversary special edition. And we're going to pose this thing, and we're going to get a little bit more into the figure and also get into the movie, Godzilla vs. Destroyer, and talk about that and talk about Burning Godzilla. So let's proceed. Okay, so Burning Godzilla. So basically, this was our first time experiencing Burning Godzilla. So if you watch Godzilla versus Space Godzilla, the energy that Godzilla absorbed from Space Godzilla mixed with uranium deposits made him extremely irradiated to the point where he was just bubbling on the inside. You know what I mean? When he stepped foot into water, the water was just boiling. And eventually, once it reached basically 1200 degrees Celsius, he was going to blow. And, you know, because it was so much radiation, it would have been enough to really destroy the world. And so this might be arguably, and I guess maybe the only other one you could consider for the strongest iteration of Godzilla would be the legendary Burning Godzilla. So the two Burning Godzillas might actually be the most powerful versions of Godzilla ever on screen, you know. And this is from Godzilla vs. Destroyer, which was a great movie. Destroyer obviously is one of Godzilla's strongest opponents, created from the Oxygen Destroyer, which is the only weapon to basically ever kill Godzilla. So interesting, you know, that concept was, and how it played out in the movie. You know what I mean? And maybe we're going to be seeing Destroyer in the legendary MonsterVerse soon. I don't know. You know, there's rumors that Space Godzilla isn't the only villain in Godzilla X Kong Supernova. I'm not sure if the other one is Destroyer yet, or maybe they're just setting it up for Destroyer in a future picture. I don't know. We'll find that out, though. There's nothing but leaks right now. But, man, this is a beautiful looking figure. You know what I mean? This is a paint job that really is impressive. It's done with care. It conveys Burning Godzilla in every way possible. You know, we love this movie, Godzilla vs. Destroyer. A lot of people consider it to be the saddest movie in the Godzilla franchise because it's, you know, basically the death of Godzilla. You know what I mean? And the movie was promoted that way. You know, and you also have Godzilla Jr. in the movie. So it's kind of like the death of Godzilla, but not really. You know, with Godzilla Jr. living on at the end of the movie and turning into the next Godzilla, basically, you know, from Burning Godzilla's life force, basically. So, yeah, Godzilla vs. Destroyer is a wild ride. I unfortunately don't, I'll just tell you right now, have any Destroyer figures that I could whip out later to compare, you know. Um, and like the Destroyer SH Monsterarts is just so expensive if you wanted to purchase it, you know. So, but I don't know. Hopefully, I'll get a good Destroyer, higher Destroyer, possibly in the future. But anyway, I love these 70th anniversary figures. I thought the 54 70th anniversary, they just nailed that. That was a fantastic figure. Great paint job, butter smooth articulation. Just a 5-star figure, in my opinion, with some beautiful accessories that came with it. And, you know, same thing for this guy, except minus some things along the way. Yeah, you know, and this figure has its flaws like every other figure, you know. But the look of it is beautiful. You could pose this guy on the shelf and it's gonna just pop out. You know what I mean? And it's the dorsal plates are absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful. You could see the light shining through them right there. You know, look at that. That's absolutely amazing. I love the dark gray contrast on the orange translucent dorsal plates. Good chunk of, I don't know if the whole figure is translucent or not. I don't know. Maybe we'll test that later on in the video, but we'll see what he looks like when you shine light through him. But the paint job is meant for that, and you can see that. That's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, you know, I watched so many videos and they were complaining about the eyes. They're good. I don't know. I don't see really anything wrong with them. Matter of fact, to me, the eyes are fairly menacing. They say, no, they're supposed to look straight ahead. They kind of do, you know. They're just like wild-eyed. But that's how he looked in the film. You know what I mean? He's bubbling and burning on the inside. He's got these manic eyes, and, you know, I seem to like it. Other people are seeing the eyes as a negative. I'm seeing it as a positive for this figure because it makes him look really manic and pissed off. You know what I mean? It's fitting for Burning Godzilla. And the teeth and the tongue and the inside of the mouth is well done. You know? Look at that. There we go. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, the teeth are okay. Yeah, you know, the facial sculpt, the eyes, the teeth, the tongue, inside of the mouth. Good, 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 good. Paint job good. Dorsal plates, beautiful. And like I mentioned earlier, the paint on the fingernails and toenails is great. You know, the shot of those eyes. I love those manic eyes. That looks great, man. He looks really menacing like that. So, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so, yeah, so we got him in a little bit of an action pose. I'll go through, you know, let's go through the first, in my opinion, and the worst negative of this figure is this outdated tail. You're talking about a tail that's basically got NECA articulation. You see the position this tail is in? That's all you're doing with it, buddy. You know what I mean? If you try to bend it any more than that, or just like, yeah, there you go. You know? So that's basically what you get there. I'll just leave it off so you can see. You know, it was meant to fall off so you could understand what the problem is. You can't do anything with it beyond that point. You know what I mean? So, and this is just one piece. So, and then there's a floating piece here. It's a really outdated tail. You know what I mean? And probably the rest of the articulation is outdated as well because this is an old mold. They made several figures over the years. And so, you know, I don't know. Maybe, you know, there's a little degradation in the mold. I'm sure it's old. But I think this looks great, though. I think it looks really, really good. You know, we'll see. We'll see how the articulation is in the head, arms, and legs. You know, I don't really care. I don't need to bend the tail crazy. You know what I mean? Especially for this Godzilla. So, but let's go further on. Okay, so the figure is showing balance. That's for damn sure. You know what I'm saying? So that's good, even though the articulation is kind of old. You know, the tail is not going to help you much with the balance, like in terms of really being able to pose it in a certain kind of way. But anyway, you could achieve a very, very nice foot stomping pose. So how bad really is the articulation? Actually, the articulation in the legs is good. You know, because look at that. That's a nice bend at the knee. You could rock the ankle a little bit. You could crunch them at the waist, rock them at the waist, and that's about as far down as you could get his head. I'll do a fully down posed shot so you can see. But impressive foot stomping pose, I have to say. And that looks really nice. Okay, that looks really nice. You can see that's fully crunched at the waist, as far down as his head and neck could look. And I'll tell you what, the leg articulation is a highlight on this figure. Okay, so that may be old, but it's that's standing the test of time. Unlike the tail, the tail's really pissing me off because the ball joint keeps popping off every 2 seconds, man. You know, so but that's a beautiful, menacing looking pose. You can see you can spread the legs really wide, and then the legs have another feature that I'll show you. That I think, you know, the legs can really give this figure character with some dynamic poses like that. That looks so nice, man. Okay, just to show you here, you know, you get some good turn at the waist, you get some good rock at the waist. You can make them look to the side, and you could pull these legs down to just, you know, you see that? You can pull them down or, you know, push them back in, whatever you want to do. But I have them pulled down now to give them, you know, a little more height and more posability for dynamic poses, wider poses on the legs, taller poses on the legs. So that's a nice feature, you know. So the arm articulation, yeah, that might be a little bit basic, but you do get good bend at the elbow, you know. You do get fairly good posability. It's a little stiff in the shoulders, you know. It's like parts of it just is going to remind you of like neck articulation, you know what I mean? But a little more advanced than that. It's old school Monsterarts, you know, with a neck of tail. I feel like this is the tail this is the same type of tail as like almost like the Bio Goji type technology on the tail. It's just way outdated, you know. But I like the legs. I like the way the legs function, and I like how the legs function gives the posing some quality. And you know, the tail looks nice, by the way. You know what I mean? It's painted all the way to the tip, and it's done well. So what? You can't, you know, you can't bend it into a circle. It's still fine, you know. All right, let's keep going. Okay, and this is about as wide as you're going to get them, which is actually quite good. How nice does that look, man? Man, that's so worth it, bro. Yeah, it might have been a little bit overpriced, you know, like you would figure the articulation would be more up to date at the price. But the articulation is good on most of it. That's as wide as you could get the arms. The legs are pulled down and spread out wide, so that's about as wide as you're going to get it. And you can just, you know, get creative with the tail, you know what I mean? But this is a really, really sharp, beautiful looking figure, and it functions quite well. Yeah, so I'll show you fully turned with the neck here. Yeah, you know, the head and neck, that might be outdated, but it functions very nicely. So does the waist and torso. you know, to give it a really nice, believable looking to the side pose. And this knee articulation is just beautiful. It just works so nice, where you can really show a nice bend at the knee. You know, I love it. I think this is sharp and beautiful. Functions quite well, and I'm happy. It's my first articulated burning Godzilla, really. So, but let's show you some of the accessories. Okay, so I wanted to show you this beautiful stand with the very nice tail off the ground, lurching pose like that. Beautiful. So, you know, when somebody complains about the articulation of this figure, just show them this. You know what I mean? Just show them that beautiful pose on the 70th anniversary stand with this gorgeous paint job. You know what I mean? Yeah, but that looks very, very nice. Excellent. Okay, and here's this beautiful atomic breath piece, orange and yellow piece, and a nice fiery stand for the bottom of it. You could have everything on the 70th anniversary stand, so you could pose them like that. You know, as another reviewer pointed out, or two, this is an inaccurate atomic breath piece for the movie. It should have been a spiral effect, but I mean, honestly, we can't complain. It goes very, very nice with this figure, and it's actually a really sharp-looking, beautiful atomic breath piece. So we'll be happy with it. You know what I mean? And that just looks really nice if you could pose them on the shelf like that. Yeah, so it's sweet to be able to switch up the angle of this atomic breath piece, where you could really like put him shooting his atomic breath in a million different poses. And I love that, man. I also really, really like these open claws better than the other claws that came on it. So these are ultimately more menacing. I'm going to keep those on the figure and pose them with those because I like them better. But yeah, that looks sweet. Okay, that looks so nice from behind. This is about as high as you're going to get him to shoot his atomic breath. Right there. Which is pretty good. It's in an upward trajectory, so he does look like he's shooting it high. That's really nice, man. Just look at this figure, bro, from behind with these gorgeous dorsal plates and that beautiful atomic breath piece. So nice. Dope, man. Okay, we're getting a fairly good swimming pose here, despite the lack of too much help from the tail. Well, you can't even get it fully straight, you know. But the head looks far enough where you could pull it off. Looks decent. Okay, and this I'll just compare it to the only other Burning Godzilla that I have is this Playmates figure from years ago, which actually is a pretty cool figure, to be honest with you. You know, for the price at the time, that was a decent figure. With the dorsal plates are painted nice, and it's got an interesting take on Burning Godzilla. So for a cheaper figure, it was pretty cool. But yeah, there we go. Now just compare it with the higher legendary Burning Godzilla. So this is the look of Godzilla when he was burning in the Monsterverse and Godzilla King of the Monsters. So that's the difference in both of them. Of course, the high is a bigger figure, but yeah, two different takes and two different Burning Godzillas. Very nice. All right, so that's going to wrap it up. Probably going to pose them on the shelf just like that, you know. Love that, man. So yeah, SH Monsterarts 70th anniversary Godzilla 1995. Burning Godzilla. And it's very nice. I highly recommend it. Spend the money. Stop being cheap. Stop being cheapskates. The outdated tail doesn't kill it. It doesn't make you feel bad for having this figure. You get quality effects with it. And the articulation is quite serviceable on this. You know what I mean? On the waist and the legs, Arms are okay, you know. But it's just beautiful, a beautiful paint job and a nice sculpt and beautiful dorsal plates. You know what I mean? So if you like what you see, go out there, get you some burning gouge. And like the goddamn video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back at you with another one soon. Peace! Oh, and before we go, let's just shine a light through this sucker here. Oh, not a black light. There we go. Show you the translucency of the dorsal plates, you know, and of the body. You can see that. Yeah, you see how that lights up? Pretty nice. And one more time with almost no light. Yeah, you can really see that there. Love how the whole body is translucent and the atomic breath piece. Yeah, that looks awesome, man. All right, peace out, fellas. See you soon.